Hello, everybody. Dr. Lonnie Stewart here from the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Are you a physical therapy student about to start studying for the National Physical Therapy Examination? Or maybe you're a professor, a program director, or clinical instructor who teaches DPT students preparing for the NPTE? Either way, we would recommend checking out our sponsor, NPTE Final Frontier, and the community they've built around preparing for and succeeding on the NPTE. That exam and the preparation that goes along with it can be long, tedious, difficult, and stress inducing, but it doesn't have to be. NPTE Final Frontier has the tactics and resources to help address all of the usual barriers. They even have scholarships to help with NPTE study courses, FSBPT registration fees, and even research opportunities. And if that's not enough, they're even donating to the very first annual HET Podcast Scholarship to be awarded at the end of every year. Go to npteff.com for all of the details and use code HET for 10% off all purchases. Links to both the NPTE Final Frontier and their scholarship options are available in the show notes. And now, let's get ready to learn.
Hello, everybody. Dr. F. Scott Feil here with another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. Today's one is real quick and easy. It's about remembering your why. Always remember your why. And what I mean by that is, what's your motivation behind doing something, anything? Simon Sinek has a great book called Start With Why. That's a great resource if you're more interested in this. But essentially, it's kind of looking at your end game and what your big goal is, and kind of working backwards to see what is the motivation to get to that point, to get to that end game. What drives you? What gets you up in the morning? What wakes you up so excited that you're ready for your feet to hit the floor and literally get going? Constantly reminding yourself why you are in the profession you are or why you are choosing the path that you're currently choosing is a major driver and a major motivator and a major benefit. Because if you keep in mind the patients that you're trying to reach and the lives that you're trying to impact, and sometimes it's just the overall impact that you're trying to have, that makes all the difference in the outcome because those people that you're trying to impact and trying to help and trying to get better will see that in you. And the difference that you can make in those people's lives will be worth it in the end. One of the things that I've done over the years, and I don't even know why I started doing this, to be honest with you, I kept cards and thank you notes and messages from old patients and success stories, if you will. And granted, not every patient was a success story, right? Not every student goes on to be a success story, but there were enough of them over the years and enough good and positive notes that I kept because if I focused on all the negative and the bad ones, that wouldn't, necessarily help me because that wasn't really a case study on how I connect, how I did a good job of showing those people my motivation. And sometimes you have to realize it's external. It has nothing to do with you, no matter how motivated you are, how excellent you are as a therapist or a teacher or whatever it may be. I started writing down the funny stuff. I started keeping tabs on all of my thank you notes and success stories, and I have them all in a box. And anytime I'm having a rough day or things don't go my way, or I just forget the why, I forget my motivation and why I went into healthcare to help people and why I went into teaching was to have a larger impact. It really helps me get centered and kind of bring myself back to that original why. And it really was just a desire to help people. But then B, as I transitioned into academia, it was really a love for the transfer of knowledge. And again, for those of you who followed my journey in particular, you'll know at the beginning of this podcast, many, many years ago, I wasn't really that into academia. It wasn't really for me. It wasn't something I was convinced I was going to do, especially seeing my dad do it for many years. And, he was an English teacher and I just I didn't like all that went into it and what he went through. And he did it amazingly for many years. So I just didn't think I could hack it. I didn't think I could do what he did. And now here I am full circle. And I think a little bit of it subconsciously was to maybe connect with him and make him proud. After he passed away, I think, a little bit of a feeling of legacy and wanting to do something that kind of connected. Wasn't intentional. Like I said, I started out as a clinician for 15, 16 years. So it wasn't like I was like, gotta follow dad's passion and be a teacher. It just kind of found me. And the EDD helped me see that I wasn't a very good learner, which then helped me figure out my why to go into teaching in academia. And that was really to help make the learning process easier and to help the transfer of knowledge easier. And hopefully, my story inspires people and motivates people and shows people you don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to be great at it. But eventually, if given the opportunities and if you put in the work, it works out for you. So always remember your why, always remember your motivation. Come back to it time and time again whenever you need that reminder of why things, are the way they are, why you've chosen the path that you've chosen. And keep those notes, keep those emails, keep the positive ones because they really are uplifting. They'll help you in days where you're down. So hope that was helpful and we'll see you on the next one. Well, I hope that episode was entertaining as much as it was informational and educational. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our past episodes, we ask you to please subscribe to the podcast and leave us a rating and review. And please share out the episodes to those who you feel may be able to benefit from them. We also urge you to follow us on all social media platforms at HET Podcast and let us know what topics or experts you would like to hear from in future episodes. And just as a reminder, none of the information on today's show should be considered medical advice. It's simply infotainment or edutainment to help educate our audience. For medical advice, we always advise you to reach out to your preferred medical professionals, and we'll see you on the next show.